have to be your biggest fan. And when things are really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that. Because you don't know who you're going to meet, who you're going to meet, who you're going don't know who you're gonna meet, who you're have to be your biggest fan. And when things are really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that. Because you don't know who you're going to meet, 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 who you're going to meet.
Hello, everyone. It is good to see you again. My name is Greg Quiroga. It is my honor to be your co-host for our virtual block party. It's hard to believe it's already been a year. They say time flies, but last year it felt like it really zoomed. I'm here alongside someone who you may know or may be meeting for the very first time, the CEO of Hamilton Families, Kyriell Noon.
Thank you, Greg. It's a real pleasure to be here with you. And to everyone at home, I'd like to welcome you all to Hamilton Families' annual benefit to end family homelessness in the San Francisco Bay Area.
You know, Hamilton Families is such a strong pillar in our community and an organization that is near and dear to my heart. The importance of Hamilton Families' work and mission to end family homelessness in the San Francisco Bay Area has never been more evident.
Exactly right. We know that the last 18 months have been so hard for so many of us. And we know that the burden, stress, and fallout for low-income families and families experiencing homelessness has been really huge.
Couldn't agree more, Kyriell. And I think everyone here tonight would agree with you as well, especially all the amazing staff at Hamilton Families who work with families experiencing homelessness. Let's give them a shout out.
Do that, absolutely. Everyone at Hamilton Families, along with the amazing team that put this whole event together, couldn't be more excited to share a bit of our work with all of you. A couple of weeks ago, I had a Zoom meeting with our dedicated staff, and I asked them to give me 3 words that best describe Hamilton Families to a complete stranger. The answer varied from end family homelessness to not the musical, but the one word that came up the most was community.
Not the musical. I'm sure you must get that all the time, but tell me more about Hamilton Families community.
Well, Greg, I joined Hamilton Families about a year ago to bring together the Hamilton community so we could understand our collective power to make a difference in the lives of the families that we serve. And those families are predominantly black and brown single moms and their kids. And I wanted us to use that power and the power of our community partners to raise money for the Hamilton families and to raise spirits while we were at it.
Well, I'm all about both of those, Kyriell. I mean, I think obviously I'm in for raising money, but I think we could all use a little help raising our spirits, especially after everything we've had to endure this past year or so.
It's been a rough year for all of us, but here we are, 35 years later, and thanks to many of you, the Hamilton Families community is still here doing the work that we set out to do. And I think that's something to celebrate.
Yes. So speaking of celebrations, let's get this block party started. I don't know about you, but it was tough to decide how best to begin this event. We thought we'd start tonight by giving a toast to the people who made it all possible.
Absolutely, I'm right there with you. Let's give a toast to our amazing sponsors. Thank you all for the incredible amount of support that you've given to all of us at Hamilton Families and to the families experiencing homelessness who need it the most.
Grab your cocktail, clink your glass, celebrate with us, but most importantly, join us if you can by donating.
Let's get this party started.
Our team at SoMa Equity believes in social impact. We believe in the power of community and that every action for good, no matter how small, adds up to create a world better than the one we lived in yesterday. That's why we partner with Hamilton Families, whose mission is to end family homelessness in the San Francisco Bay Area. My name is Jessica Lane, VP of Operations and Director of Social Impact at SoMa Equity, and a proud member of the Hamilton Families Board. Just 8 weeks ago, my partner Dan and I welcomed our first child into the world, our new baby boy, Eli. He has brought us new meaning to the work that Hamilton Families provides. We need people like the staff at Hamilton to teach us what children and families truly need, a continuum of care. Yes, they need housing and shelter, but they also need job counseling, education, income and budget counseling, digital literacy skills. And it's no surprise that the needs are increasing with the COVID-19 pandemic and the eviction moratoriums lifting. That's why we at SoMa Equity are providing Hamilton the first ever $100,000 Stabilize a Family sponsorship to invest in their new family impact initiative, supporting low-income families and families of color with direct cash assistance when they need it most. These investments will provide an opportunity to build economic and housing stability for those most impacted by the COVID-19 crisis. It combines the national best practice of Hamilton Families' Rapid Rehousing Program with the additional guarantee $500 monthly income assistance and comprehensive case management for up to 3 years. In short, we have more work to do, and families in our community have never needed their support like they do right now. To Hamilton Families, we want to say you are our heroes. It has been an honor and a privilege to call you our partners.
The courage of a dreamer, the innocence of you, failures and the foolishness that lead us to the truth. The hopes that make us happy, the hopes that don't come true, and all the love there ever was. I see this all in you. You are part of the human heart. You are part of all who took the journey and managed to endure. The ones who knew such tenderness, the ones who felt so sure, the ones who came before you, the others yet to come, and those who you will teach it to, and those you learned it from. You are part of the human heart. You are part tonight, part of the human heart.
You know, come on, pop it, lock, pop it, lock. Look, pop it, lock.
Before we get carried away and into the fun of the event, I want you all playing along at home to know that this block party is interactive, and you need to get involved. So every time you hear the word families, I want you to do 3 things. First, take a sip of your drink. Second, hug the person next to you. And third, which is the most important, donate $1 to Hamilton Families today. With your help, we can end family homelessness for so many families in the San Francisco Bay Area, here and now. Now, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce you to an essential member of our leadership team and long-term Hamilton Families veteran, Kathy Marsala, the director of our Hamilton Families Shelter. Kathy, I'm so happy you're here to join us today.
Thank you, Kyriell. I am so honored to be here with you today, and I can't wait to get this block party started. I remember back in 2019, before the pandemic, when we were all gathered at the Hamilton Families annual benefits, when we were all able to celebrate together, laugh together, cry together, and dance.
And I truly believe that Hamilton Families has long been an anchor institution in the San Francisco Bay Area, taking the lead on issues facing families who are experiencing homelessness and who lack the resources to advocate for themselves.
Kyriell, you're so right. That's why so many of our staff, especially at the shelter, arrive to work every day to do the hard, gritty work that needs to be done to make sure families are able to have the housing they deserve. It's all about social justice.
It really is. And in this time of fighting for social justice, Hamilton Families has extended our reach beyond anything we've ever reached for. We've doubled down on our commitments, we're shoring up our strategic partnerships, our data and evaluation efforts, our workforce development, and digital literacy initiatives, all to make sure that we can respond to families' needs in a world that changes overnight.
And it's so worth it. I have so many stories of families who have stayed at our shelter, who reach out to me afterwards, that could not stop thanking us for all that we did to break the cycle of homelessness.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Kathy. We're going to hear some amazing stories from families that we've helped in some way or another, whether they started off at our shelter, our transitional housing program, or our rapid rehousing program. But I wonder if you'll indulge me for a second. A couple of weeks ago, you shared with me a story about a former participant of our shelter program. Can I ask you to share that story with the audience tonight?
I would love to. So, on my spare time, I work at a psychiatric hospital. And one day I was with a colleague of mine, she's a mental health tech, just as I am, and we were talking about social justice. And she shared with me that 10 years ago, she stayed at a family shelter in San Francisco. And she went on to say that the shelter she stayed at had served 3 meals a day, had a children's program, and all these services provided to her and her family. And one of the things that she liked most was the field trips for the children's program. You know, I asked her, what shelter did you stay at? She goes, oh, well, I can't remember the name. I have to ask my mom. So like 2 weeks later, I saw her again, and she said, Kathy. I said, what's up? And she says, you know the shelter that I was telling you about? I said, yes, tell me more. She goes, it was Hamilton that we stayed at. When she told me that, and just even telling this story, gives me chill bumps.
That's an amazing story.
It is, and it's really a testament of the work that is done here at Hamilton Families in support of our families. We have great tools, a really great workforce to drive our families to success.
That's fantastic, and that really is the thing that gets me out of bed to come to work in the morning. Stories just like that. So, how can you help? Well, just like at church or at any good drag show, when you feel moved, reach into your pocket and donate to hamiltonfamilies.org/benefit.
Again, that's hamiltonfamilies.org/benefit to make a difference now, today, and to stand up for social justice.
And to stand up for the low-income and Black and brown families in the San Francisco Bay Area who we serve.
This flower that you threw my way has been my friend by night and day. I saw it fade and lose its bloom, but still it kept a sweet perfume in myself through every darkened hour. On my lonely I lay this flower, and so I'd sleep the whole night through and dream of you and dream of you. Then I'd wake up with no one near me and talk for the jail walls to hear me. She ain't the best, they're all the same, like all the rest. She's just a dame. Then I told myself I was raving. There's just one thing I was craving. It wasn't food, it wasn't dough. I guess you'll know that it was you. Saw you once wouldn't do. I don't know anything about you. I don't know much about a shining star. Just know the world is lost without you. That's all I know. I only want you as you are. That's how I love
Hi, my name is Greene, and I am a Hamilton family participant, and I just would like to share my story with you guys, my success story. So prior to me and my 4 children coming here to California, we resided in Bronx, New York at a shelter called Seneca Houses, where we spent 8 months prior to moving back home to Georgetown, South Carolina. And 2 weeks of us being back at home, my dad passed away. So that caused a monumental shift in a lot of things within our family, to the point where we had to make a quick decision on where we were going to be staying, and I did not know in which direction I needed to go. So we stayed at a hotel for about 2 weeks until my sister in Texas told us to come and stay with her. We stayed with her for 2 weeks as well until we were told to leave. Then we were at a hotel for about a week until I got all of the paperwork ready to come to move here to California, which was very scary, by the way, but I was not able to allow that fear to take over me. So I decided to do what I needed to do, make that jump, and because I did, I'm so grateful for it. We went to the emergency shelter Buena Vista first for 2 weeks as well. Something about these 2 weeks. But we went there for 2 weeks until we were a participant at the Hamilton Family Shelters. That's where our life took a monumental change. This shelter helped me and my children in such a way that I can't even explain to you in the amount of time that I'm speaking. But I will say that they helped my family to gain structure because we lacked structure as a family. Because I'm a single mother of 4 children, it was hard for me to gain the stability, the emotional support, the physical support as well, and other things that I needed. And the shelter helped us, because of the program, the shelter helped us to achieve everything that I was looking for and beyond. My imagination. I am so glad that me and my family was led to this particular shelter. I would not have had it any other way. Because of that, we are now successfully in our own place. And they have showed me to become a better businesswoman, a better mother, and a better person all the way around. So Hamilton Family Shelters, I thank you humbly, and I appreciate everything that you have done for me and my family. Thank you.
There are many misconceptions about family homelessness, so many invisible barriers to overcome that most people can't see, so many obstacles to finding a permanent place to call home that many of us don't even consider. I recently spoke to a participant in our transitional housing program named Elizabeth, who shared her family's story with us. We talked about what it was like to share something so personal and so intimate like her family life, how that takes a very special type of person and family to do that sort of thing. She told me that what inspired her to say yes was that other families need to see that they're not alone, that homelessness is not as black and white as it appears, and that helping takes many forms, from a donation to volunteering to becoming a landlord partner to the simple, random act of kindness. Elizabeth said it seems like low-income families like hers are constantly facing eviction, losing their homes, and losing the support of the communities that they've relied on all their lives. And I see that as a call to action. With the end of the pandemic seemingly at our fingertips, your support for families like Elizabeth's is needed more than ever. Please donate to hamiltonfamilies.org/benefit and listen to Elizabeth's story.
We've made home so many different places, and home is where you're comfortable and where you're happy and where you're able to relax and just be with the people that you want to be with at the end of the day. It's not a building, it's not about where it is, it's just about who's there. My children have never got to experience having the same friends year to year at school or being able to be on teams or things like that because we've been constantly moving. Haven't even been able to stay in one city for very long, enough for them to be able to develop friendships and have roots and things that other kids have. Family homelessness is not what everybody thinks it is. Homeless families, they're out of sight, they're hidden, they're piled up in people's garages, they're at a motel, you know, they're in rest stops, they're in their cars, they're in their RVs, they're trying to stay out of sight, they're trying to not be noticed and pointed out as one of those people. There's such a stigma with the word homeless that people are so afraid to be associated with it that there's people who are probably homeless who don't even know they're homeless or can't admit that they're even homeless. So the first time going to Hamilton, it was a different experience because it was such a large center to go into, and there was so many other families as well. We first went into the emergency shelter where we had a room with bunk beds that we shared and a shower down the hall, and that was the biggest relief off of us because we had literally been in the car for 2 weeks before that. They had breakfast, dinner, they had meals, they had after-school programs. This is to take the kids to school. It was nice. There's still that next step, the credit score that's in the way, the landlords, the background checks. It's a perpetual cycle, and something needs to be done to end it. All the support that we've got through Hamilton and all the help and everything we've been able to accomplish after living the way we were, it was just like really nice to have all these people just like willing to just help and take, you know, part of the load off that you've been carrying for quite a while.
Thank you, Liz. We appreciate you sharing your story with all of us tonight. Everyone who's watching at home, we're almost there. We're almost to the part of tonight's show where you get to make a difference for families in need. If you haven't yet, there is still time to register. Please visit hamiltonfamilies.org/benefit or just scan the QR code. Where is it, Kyriell? The QR code in the lower right corner of the screen right now. You don't know how to do it, just hold your phone up in camera mode to the QR code. It'll take you where you can make a donation. But as Isaiah Johnson so eloquently put it earlier tonight, every gift does more than you will ever know. Every donation you make will help support the great work of Hamilton Families. We met Liz. We met her family. Now is your chance to step up and help her or the next Liz and the next Liz's family. You know exactly how impactful the work being done at Hamilton Families is on families experiencing homelessness just like hers.
I can't overemphasize how important tonight is for Hamilton Families. This annual block party is one of the biggest ways that we leverage community partners like you to help support the work of serving families experiencing homelessness. Homelessness is a solvable problem, and we are all part of the solution. We need your investment tonight to support children and families in our community.
Ending homelessness is a critical piece of the puzzle in our work to address poverty. We are all here tonight for one reason, because we know we can do this.
And we can. While we at Hamilton Families provide a wide array of services for families experiencing homelessness, there are many gaps that we still have to fill and hundreds of families who still need support.
And with your help, we want to make sure that we can reduce the impact that the trauma of homelessness has on kids. We want to make sure these kids don't end up as homeless adults.
And I want to make sure that these kids know that they are seen and valued in our community. Our goal is to get parents and kids settled into permanent housing as quickly as possible.
That can only happen with strong support from the community. And that's you, right? Right now, this is where you watching at home get to come in. So again, I'm going to make it like auctioneer humor here and repeat myself. Go to hamiltonfamilies.org/benefit, register for our Fund a Need, click on the QR code in the lower right corner of the screen, click on Get Started to donate and help us fill those gaps for families in need. Once you go to hamiltonfamilies.org/benefit and click on Get Started, you will see donation levels for every budget. Every budget. I mean, $51,000 is a big budget, on down to $100. Every donation that you make will have an impact on a family in our community. Every donation makes a difference. And we see donations coming in. We appreciate all of your gifts. We will recognize you in just one moment. But first, $51,000 is a big ask. Kyriell, I'm presuming it has a big impact as well.
It has a huge impact. $51,000 is what it costs to support a family in our housing program for up to 2 years, from soup to nuts, including rental subsidies that families need to get on their feet, case management and ongoing support that increases a family's stability and decreases their likelihood of returning to homelessness. We know that this work helps one family at a time, but at Hamilton Families, we're proud of our ability to do this work at scale. Last year alone, we helped almost 700 families with this program. 700.
700 is a lot of families. And speaking of a lot, Tribe Capital donated $51,000 tonight. Thank you, Tribe. We appreciate you. Kyriell, I wouldn't be doing my job as a fundraiser if I didn't ask. Is there anyone else watching right now who wants to support a family for 2 years and donate $51,000 as well? You know, it's a big ask. It's a big ask. We get it. And I understand that. As we see, gifts, like we said, are already coming in. Paige Buck, we see your $250. Thank you, Paige. David Goldin, we saw your $250. We appreciate you as well. Lauren Fleischman is in for $500. We appreciate you. Ellen and Tom Kennemore, we see your $500. Yes, Raja Murthy in for $500 as well. We've got a huge, long list of donations that have been coming in. We appreciate every one of them. Henry Millich in for $250. Keep those donations coming. Ananda Hurst in for $1,000. See donations when you click on click on Get Started and click on Make a Donation. You see donation levels of all levels. You can make a gift that is going to map to your capacity and your commitment. It's Jessica Lane in for $5,000. Thank you, Jessica. We appreciate you. Hey, Kyriell, of the options that are on the page, there's a $20,000 option as well. And how could $20,000 impact a life?
It can make a really big difference. Research shows that children who experience long-term homelessness are 5 times more likely to become homeless as adults. A $20,000 donation provides therapy and enrichment activities that help us stave off that outcome and actually break the intergenerational cycle of homelessness. These activities also promote academic success, they enhance the parent-child bond, and they increase kids' resilience.
As we've said, every gift you make to Hamilton families enables great work. Anyone out there donate $20,000 tonight? We had Wells Fargo came in earlier at $25,000. Molly and David Wadwani in for $20,000. Thank you. You see that thermometer climbing. You see where that thermometer is? That's not just a random thermometer right there. We've got a big goal tonight, and we're looking to you right now to step up and make a gift that's going to make a huge difference for Hamilton families. Once again, go to hamiltonfamilies.org/benefit. Click on the QR code, make your donation. We appreciate each and every one of you. And there have been a lot of gifts coming in. We appreciate all of the gifts that came in. A lot of gifts came in before we started the show, before we got here to start doing the fundraising tonight. We appreciate all the gifts. William Duff Architects, we can see your $5,000. Thank you. Tom and Nancy Louie did $5,450. Jessica Castro in for $100. Every donation makes a difference. Every gift counts. Paige Buck did $250 earlier. She also did $1,000 earlier than that. So Paige, thank you for coming back in. Paige, not to steal your Paige likes to encourage people to give and give again. It's nice to see her leading the way with that. Carol and Marilee McDougall in for $500. Keep those donations coming, everybody. We appreciate each and every gift. Karina Moreno's in for $1,000. Mary Scott donated $1,000. Now, we were talking about the $10,000 level, and we have a whole slew of $5,000 donations that have come in. And $5,000, one of the levels I'd like you to talk about because it does good work as well.
Yeah. The $5,000 donation feeds a family staying at our shelter program, which provides a safe place to stay and 3 square meals a day for up to 6 months. Food is such a basic need, and if your family is struggling to provide basic needs, you aren't able to take the next step toward true stability. A $5,000 donation helps families take that next step forward by helping us provide basic needs for all families in our program.
And Neon McAvoy and Leslie Berryman in for $10,000. Let me guess, I skipped the $10,000 level. We'll go back up and talk about $10,000 as well. We appreciate Neon McAvoy and Leslie Berryman, your $10,000 gift. We appreciate that. Catalyst Partners, we're in for $10,000 as well. Megan Nye donates $5,000. Keep those donations coming. Salesforce did $10,000 as well. Ann and John and Nucleo were in for $10,000. And we also had the $5,000 wall. Insight Global in at $5,000. Charles Schwab donated $5,000 as well. Clayton Smutsky, Bernard, and Jane were in for $5,000. Clayton Smutsky, Bernard and Jane von Bothmer. Sorry, I got my texts are bleeding a little bit together here. Clayton Smutsky, you're in for $5,000, and we have not placed you in a new family. We appreciate your donation. Bernard and Jane von Bothmer Foundation in for $5,000 as well. We all made mistakes in this past year. May this be the biggest mistake we make tonight on screen here. We appreciate each and every gift. Keep them coming. Now, when we talk about we've seen some random gifts, some odd looking levels there. So we got one of the gifts, some $1,300 and $1,200 gifts. It's sort of an odd number, and I mean I know that $1,200 is an even number, but what's the significance? Is Debbie Wilbur's in for $100? Keep them coming, everybody. What's the significance of $1,200?
A $1,200 gift is one of the ways that we support families is by paying a portion of their rent while they're in our program. $1,200 is the average cost of the monthly rental subsidy that we pay while the family covers the remaining amount. So that $1,200 goes a long way.
And Ananda Hirsch is in for $1,000. Thank you, Ananda. Matthew Merle in for $100. Keep those donations coming. We appreciate each and every gift. Yes, please, please. Matthew Pachel and Ruth Bernstein in for $1,000. Carol and Tim Carey in for $1,000. Edwin Metcalf and Molly Pope in for $1,000. Karina Moreno in for Renee and Zania Picasso in for $2,000. Scott and Susan Mary Scott and Susan in for $1,000. Tolan Lefebvre in for $1,000. Care West Insurance Company in for $1,000. Christina Alton in the other room in for $100 as well. Keep those donations coming. Shirley Son Forbes in for $1,000. The Nucleo family in for $1,000. Oh, see, I got ahead of the curve. I love it when I can sneak ahead of the curve a little bit. We appreciate each and every gift. Shirley Son Forbes, I'm seeing a name. It's coming up on the screen any moment now. As Shirley Son Forbes is in for $1,000. Anna G in for $158, and you talked about we talked about $1,200 specifically as being a housing fund. Well, the Timothy Evans in for $1,200. Thank you, Timothy. Wendy Lee, DID of admin, in for $500, and $500 is like $500 is a special number.
It is a special number for us. This year, we're excited to launch a program that we're calling Family Impact Investments. Family Impact Investments are a $500 monthly direct cash payment to the families in our housing program. It allows families the option of spending money on things that they need the most and otherwise filling gaps in their budget. Imagine what would happen if you got a flat tire on your way to work and you couldn't afford to replace it. You'd be late for work, you'd potentially lose your job, and you wouldn't have any income and you couldn't afford your rent. Your family is now at risk of becoming homeless, all because of a flat tire. $500 may not seem like a big deal for many of us, but for low-income families, it can make all the difference in the world.
As Wendy Lee is in for $500, and then we refer to an effect like that as a cascade, right? And
yes.
and when you've got backup, pulling one pebble out of the dam doesn't cause a cascade, but when you don't, that cascade can be catastrophic for a family. And your $500 helps keep the dam in place, to really just run with that metaphor way too long. As Rosa Martinez is in for $500, and Melody Drummond Hanson in for $500, and Colleen Kavanaugh, we saw your $1,000, and Wendy Lee is in for $500, and the DID of Admin Hamilton Families, Donna R. Williams, is in for $100. Want to get that one straight? Thank you very much. Mr. and Mrs. Cord Hute in for $500 as well. If you haven't yet, there is still time. Amy Purvis, we see your $500. Thank you. If you haven't yet, there is still time to go to hamiltonfamilies.org/benefit and sign up and make your donation and make your gift. There are lots of options. I guarantee that we have a level that's going to match your capacity with your commitment, because as we said, you can enter a custom amount at any point in the show, at any point on the thing, and lots of gifts. I mean, let's just go through some of the gifts. I'm trying to scroll down here. Here are the gifts that have come in. Jeff Breeze is in for $100. Thank you, Jeff. Gifts that have come in tonight while we've been on the show so far. David Goldin, yes, we're in at $250. Cornia Zendejas is in for, it was in for $1,200. Linda Alton and Lynn, I sense a connection. Linda Alton and Lynn Larson in for $100. Keep those donations coming. Chris Constantine donated $100. Eve Fisher in for $250. Agnes Rucker in for $100. Emily McGrin in for $500. David K. Plotkin in for $360. Sarah Murgy in for $250. Cecilia Chacon in for $250. Sarah Murgy in for $250. The first one in during our broadcast tonight was Salil A. Fadnis, and if I got your name wrong, it's out of love, I swear. Miriam Rosenfeld from the other room in for $50, but Salil donated $2,500. Thank you, Salil. Keep those donations coming. You see, we're working our way up. We've got a great show for you. Yes, but let's get through. I just want to get through some of these. Carolee Ordaz was in for $500. Raja Murthy in for $500. Ellen and Tom Kennemore in for $500. Doug Gold and Eliana Agudelo in for $500. David and Christine Goldin in for $500. Michelle and Jason Glover in for $500. Tracy Sheme in for $500. If you haven't yet, now is the time. You've all been doing great work. We appreciate each and every donation that you have made thus far, and we want you to keep giving. So please, if you haven't yet, go to hamiltonfamilies.org/benefit, hamiltonfamilies.org/benefit, and register. Scan the QR code. Here's the promise that we'll make to you. We will do our best, right? We are here for you tonight. We will do our best to honor and acknowledge each and every gift you make during our program tonight. We got a little screen, shows us where all the gifts have come in. And if you make a gift, we will come back and we will give you your propers. So please keep those donations coming. We will be back to check on them later. Right now, I believe we have a special performance from Bisi.
We do. Stick around. There's so much more to come.
Walk with me, I'll walk with you. Down these troubled roads we've stumbled into. We're all in this thing together, we're gonna make it through. If you walk with me, I'll walk with you. Be there for me, I'll be there for you. When we're running out of hope and we don't know what to do, like a candle in the darkness, shining bright and true. Be there for me, I'll be there for you. Oh, everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. You and me got better days coming. Everything is gonna be alright. Walk with me, I'll walk with you. Alright. I know the rain of today will bring tomorrow's bloom. When we can't see where we're going, where the world is coming to. If you walk with me, I'll walk with you. Oh, it's gonna be alright. Oh, it's gonna be alright. And I will walk with you. Walk with me. It's gonna be. And I will walk. Everything is gonna be alright. Walk with. It's gonna be alright. And I will walk with. Everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright. Walk with you, and I will walk with you.
Hi, my name is Bisi Obateru, and I hope you enjoyed that song. Now I want to tell you why I support Hamilton families. I personally feel called to address the inequities that lead to family homelessness. And through the various programs at Hamilton Families, like the shelter program, the transitional housing program, the housing services program, and the children and youth services program, they're able to do very tangible things and impact and change people's lives. Just last year, they prevented homelessness for 66 families. Approximately 90 families sleep in one of their residential programs each night, and 86% of families who they serve exit to permanent housing. They ended homelessness for 200 families last year. that is so impactful. That is a need for these communities, and that is changing lives every day. So go on to www.hamiltonfamilies.org or donate or volunteer your time. All the best.
So we're here outside of Hamilton Families' administrative offices in San Francisco with a member of Hamilton Families' real estate team who's been working tirelessly with real estate partners across 19 Bay Area counties to help our families get housed. I'd like to introduce you to Frank De La Campa, who has been working at Hamilton Families as a real estate manager. Frank, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do for Hamilton Families and introduce your friend?
Yeah, thank you so much, Kyriell. I appreciate it. Hello, everyone. My name is Frank De La Campa. I'm a real estate manager here at Hamilton Families in the real estate department. I've actually been with the agency for just over 4 years. Started as a real estate specialist and worked my way up through a coordinator and now as a real estate manager. So currently I supervise our real estate specialist team, whose primary focus is to find landlord partners across the greater Bay Area and secure units that are housing units available for our participant families to move into. So what many people don't know is that we do have a dedicated real estate team that's our primary function. Something that's a little bit unique and sets us apart from other agencies in terms of having our in-house housing location services. With me today is Grant Allen, one of our premier partners that we have. Grant, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi everybody, my name is Grant and I am one of the real estate partners here at Hamilton Families. I am an actual landlord, so we assist in housing Hamilton families at our complex, as well as we have 25 homes. So we have a 100-unit complex and about 25 homes outside of the complex.
Yeah, and Grant mentioned he's out in the Solano County in Fairfield, and Kyriell, when I came back to Hamilton Families in 2018, I realized that Grant was already a partner of ours, working with my colleague Tammy Gaines, another real estate manager on the team, and so I took it upon myself to go out and meet Grant. He's in my backyard. I live out in Vacaville. So as you can see, we serve a broad region out here in Northern California in the Greater Bay. And so I went out to view Orchard Crossings and take a tour of your complex and meet with you. And one thing that I came to appreciate the most about Grant is his perspective on why he chooses to work with Hamilton Families, and just seeing that he's willing to open up his homes to give everyone a second chance. Grant, if you wouldn't mind sharing some of that philosophy with everyone.
So as a landlord, one of our biggest concern is vacancies, right? We want to make sure all of our units are filled. So work with Hamilton Families, it's a perfect fit because we're able to help them with their mission and end homelessness, as well as get our units filled. That's what we like to do. So it's a perfect fit. Work with Hamilton Families has a lot of benefits. One of the benefits is the subsidy program. That's not the only benefit, but landlords, we like to get paid on time. So that's a great benefit where the subsidy, Hamilton Family pays part of the rent, the tenant pays part of the rent. So that's like a worry-free rent payment system, as well as if there's any issues that regarding lease complaints, if there's any issues at all, we just get on the phone, call the real estate department, and they handle the situation for us. So it's been a perfect fit. It's been a perfect partnership. We love working with Hamilton Families. and we'll continue to work with them in the future.
Kyriell, one thing that I also wanted to highlight, just to kind of echo what Grant just shared, is that, in the rare instances that things do go wrong, that's something that we pride ourselves here in the real estate department, is that we call ourselves landlord liaisons. We truly are here to support all of our partners. Hopefully things go smoothly throughout a participant's tenancy, but in case they don't, we're here to answer the phone, answer emails, and work very closely with housing services and the stability team, the case management team that's behind our participant families, and make sure that they stay in their homes, stay stable and thriving in their units, and that we hopefully end on a successful story at the end of the program. Thank you so much for sharing that, Grant. I appreciate that. And if you out there are a landlord or property manager that would like to partner up with Hamilton Families, please make sure you visit our portal and sign up today. Someone from the real estate team will reach out to you.
Hey, I just want to cut in real quick. It's been great working with Hamilton Family. The staff is wonderful. I need everyone out there to donate now.
You heard the man. Donate now. HamiltonFamilies.org/benefit.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Affeldt. As you probably already know, among the many incredible homeless service providers in the San Francisco Bay Area that fight to end homelessness for so many families in our community, chief among them is Hamilton Families. Born out of San Francisco's compassion and understanding of the needs of desperate, displaced people, Hamilton Families has served the San Francisco Bay Area for generations. Sadly, the need for its services has not diminished in our current unpredictable environment, and the challenges that Hamilton Families face in helping families experiencing homelessness achieve stability and the right to safe home has only grown. I am a proud supporter of this superb, reliable, and effective organization, and I hope that you will join me in supporting Hamilton Families.
A couple of years ago, Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube, and her husband Dennis Troper made an announcement on the Hamilton Family Shelter rooftop, presenting a generous joint gift from Google.org, which helped fund creative storytelling through film on family homelessness in the San Francisco Bay Area. Two years and a pandemic later, the fruits of our storytelling labors have come to fruition. 3 documentary short films, each one centered on a family in the San Francisco Bay Area who was helped by Hamilton Families. All of these films are resounding reminders of the resilience and strength that many of our families find, even in the face of extreme adversity and trauma. And none of these films would have been made possible without the generous support of Google.org and the creative filmmaking masterminds at Bayvac Media for their belief that social impact and storytelling go hand in hand. Right now, we're giving you a sneak peek preview into these documentary films and the first invitation to join us for our upcoming documentary screening event where you'll be able to watch, interact, and enjoy the power behind these amazing stories.
Are you okay?
Well, hi.
Hi. Oh, hey. Oh, hey there.
I'm David Goldin.
And I'm Paige Beck.
As board chairs of Hamilton Family, we've been longtime volunteers and supporters of their mission to end family homelessness in the San Francisco Bay Area.
And we want to tell you that this mission and the work being done by our incredible staff is at the core of our lives, of everything we and they do.
And it's because of this amazing team that Hamilton Families was able to serve nearly 900 families experiencing homelessness over this past year.
And on behalf of the Hamilton family, we just want to thank everyone who has already donated.
And everyone who has shown up tonight to celebrate our work. And we have some exciting news.
That's right. This November, Hamilton Families will be hosting a series of weekly community forums for Homelessness Awareness Month, where you'll be able to actively engage in conversation with local, city, and business leaders working to end family homelessness.
San Francisco and the Bay Area have long been sites of innovation and collective action, and Hamilton Families has been no different.
So donate now at hamiltonfamilies.org/benefit, and you will get advanced notice about these incredible discussions.
That's hamiltonfamilies.org/benefit. Paige, are you going to donate?
I'm going to donate, and I'm going to donate again.
I'm going to ask my wife, and then I'm going to donate.
Yeah, please. With your help, we will serve even more families in our community and take another giant step towards eliminating child and family homelessness in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Thanks to you and your generosity. Thank you for all that you do, for your support, and for being part of
our Hamilton family.
Thank you, David and Paige. We appreciate all you do for Hamilton families each and every day, but especially this past year. Also really appreciate your encouragement of people to give and give again, and appreciate you also living up to that. Everybody watching right now, if you feel moved and haven't yet, there is still time. You can still make a donation that's going to impact the great work of Hamilton Families. Just go to hamiltonfamilies.org/benefit, hit the QR code in the right-hand corner of the screen one more time. That is where you can go. We appreciate all of you watching at home, all that you've been doing for Hamilton Families. Since last we checked, some donations continue to come in. So Tal and Cynthia Simon in for $2,500 right now. Thank you, Tal and Cynthia. Gyro D in for $50. I think this one's
How do I know this guy? Shane Erickson. Thanks, honey.
Shane Erickson in as well. Tanya Allen in for $100. Tracy Cherney in for $500. Quinn Formel in for $100. Ms. Liana Zia Aguadello in for $500. We appreciate all of you. You are awesome. If you haven't yet, there is still time to give. That URL and that giving platform are going to be up there. Go ahead, make your gift. Thank you all for coming together to make a difference in our community today. It isn't the Bay Area without a block party, and no pandemic's going to change that. Coming together to celebrate the diversity of our community.
Thank you, Greg. And thank you all for joining us tonight. I really wish we could be together in person, but I appreciate you being creative with us. I continue to be inspired by the way the Hamilton community comes together. Your support means the world to us, and we literally couldn't do what we do without you.
It really is amazing. Community is what Hamilton Families is all about.
The joy of working in the community, sharing the burdens, and being able to help take care of each other is what gets me excited to do this work every day. We have so much to celebrate and so very much to be proud of.
We come together in strength, empowered by love, determination, service, and courage.
We believe that it is vitally important for us to take care of our loved ones and each other. We also believe that housing is a basic human right. It's really that simple. We're committed to making sure that everyone has access to stable housing, especially now during these late stages of the pandemic.
We can best love and support one another by always remembering to protect each other in all aspects of our lives. So please, stay safe, be smart. Remember, our community depends on your partnership, on your support, and everyone deserves housing.
What we commit to doing together at times like these truly makes a difference and has an impact in our cities, our communities, our nation, and around the world. By being here and watching this with us, you are all a part of that commitment. And we at Hamilton Families, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you.